3, 2, 1. Hi, this is Praios, and yeah, I used to be a professional gambler, and I started threads on 2+2 poker strategy and Reddit, and asked people to submit their videos so that I can review other people's play, as I cannot play anymore, really, because yeah, I'm excluded from most sites nowadays because of winning in their casinos. Yeah, anyways, only one guy so far submitted his video. Thank you for that. We will look into Tidal's gameplay today. The problem is that this is a tourney and not a cash game, and I'm not a tourney expert. You would need to know things about ICM, and I don't know much about it. I was playing basically cash game only. But yeah, cash game skills also help in tourneys. We will use, as always, the PLO Trainer if we have tough spots and don't know what to do. And yeah, we will still go through it. Maybe treat some hands like cash game hands. Or, yeah, we also got MTG ranges. So yeah, this should still work out. At least I hope. Anyways, I hope more guys will send in their footage so that I can do more reviews of viewers playing. Anyways, let's get into the action. By the way, he did this extremely well, and I at best want everyone to do it the same way. I mean, he could do one thing better. I think he did not record his audio and didn't told what he was thinking at the time, but he made timestamps to the most important hands. So I think we just do the most important hands, as he also played quite long, 1.5 hours, and analyzing these hands also takes way longer than the footage is. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, hopefully recording.
Oh, he's actually having voice on. Cool. Okay, let's jump to the first hand.
There we go. So my thoughts on that. Your ace is suited ace. Obviously, if we get 100 big blinds in, we're very happy. So let's see if we can get 100 big blinds in.
Yeah, getting it in with ace is always nice. Oh, he also it's not showing his screen name. He wants to stay private. That's also what I recommended to do.
$100 big blinds in the Alex. Hasn't played one yet. I'll just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, preflop is standard. You just want to get in a lot of money. I also think that a raise is way too small of just 2BB unless you exploiting the big blind and now what he's overfolding. Because for this size, I would just defend everything and you will have a hard time out of position. Yeah, okay. Standard 3-bet.
He calls.
Getting called.
So I guess obviously any jack is now beating us. We block the nut flush draw. We can still get value from, I guess, kings and queens. Any jack beats us. You get value from the flush draw, even though we block the flush draw. But I think we still go. So I guess normal. If I play in a Holdem tournament, I might bet third, but PLO seems like people bet bigger, so that's generally what I go for.
I think standard probably is to use a smaller sizing. I think we don't have MTT ranges for the for a lot of BBs, so we just use a sim for cash game. Should work out fine, I hope. Raise first in. Cannot change. I mean, we could, but then we have the wrong stack size. So we have to assume, unfortunately, that this was a big open raise. This actually would probably change things a lot, but yeah. We have to work with what we got. So, unfortunately, we have to assume that this is a big open raise. By the way, you find links to all the programs. This is a PLO Solver in the description. It would help me out a lot, as I will get a small affiliate fee. And yeah, it's still the same price for you. So it's a raise and a re-raise, a call. Let's hope that we got this board covered. And we got at least something similar. Jack, Jack 6 is about the same, right? So let's take this. We also need to change our hand a bit. But yeah, it seems like the standard bet size is 1/3. That's also what he said, I think, but he, for some reason, still decided to bet big. I mean, from an exploitative standpoint, this can make sense if you assume that your opponent folds a lot against a big sizing, for example, his flush draws on a paired board, but continues with if you bet smaller, and yeah, you definitely like him to get out at now and not later. But yeah, you also would have to bet big with good hands then, because yeah, otherwise you are quite exploitable if you only bet big with this sort of hand, and the jacks you only use a 1/3 sizing. Okay, yeah. So let's download the sim and see what you are supposed to do with ace. We have to make the 3 a 6 because we otherwise wouldn't block this hand. Yeah, let's go. What? Ah, okay. My bad. Sorry. We have to do it this way. And now download the sim. Ace, king 6. 5 filters. And we want to check some. We want to check back some of the time if we have the flush draw, as it seems. So let's give him the actual hand. We got diamond, club, and this is spade, whatever. Yeah, this hand is supposed to bet, but for a smaller sizing. Let's see what happens next. I think he gets check raised. At least that's what he is implying in his note. So let's put that in. So he's getting raised. I mean, having the ace of diamonds should be very bad for us, because then our opponent can't be bluffing with the ace of diamonds. So I would assume that this is a fold. But let's see what the solver thinks. Yeah, okay. Ace, king 6. Wow, ace, king 6 is actually supposed to continue. But yeah, keep in mind that we are also talking a small bet and a small raise. I personally would fold. And this is also not exactly the situation we are in, as yeah, the pot to stack ratio is a little bit different. And the tournaments also, ships you win are worth less than ships you lose. So every one ship is worth less than the ship you keep. So yeah, that's basically something that you learn from ICM. And it also
If we
also he's getting check raised all in. It's way bigger sizing, and it's also showing more strength if he's getting check raised. And he's making a bigger sizing, so I would definitely fold.
I think we must fold, right?
Yeah.
And we got
well played if you find the fold.
Got no flush draw. Pretty crushed by a jack. A jack irony out is another ace. So maybe we could have checked back. I wonder how much difference the having 3 makes. But I think he has to fold. Because if we...
Yeah, I like how he played it. I would have bet smaller with my whole range. But otherwise, yeah, it's fine. I also wonder if it's like no limit tournament, because I think this race is bigger than the pot size. No limit Omaha, so to speak.
Flush draw. Less likely he's got a flush draw.
Yeah, I think when someone does this with flush draw, he usually at least has the ace high flush draw, and you block this, so that's why I would definitely fold.
So maybe we're supposed to check that.
And even against a flush draw, you don't do that well, and yeah, if he has a jack, you are completely crushed.
Check that flop? Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I wonder what we want to do, if we want to go through every hand or just go to the interesting one. I think we just go to the ones marked as interesting. And it's also like a bit boring if you would have to watch all the footage. I mean, if it would be 4 tabling, then it would be a lot cooler to watch. But with just 1 table, I think we just jump to the... How is it called? Good question. Next question. Timestamps, that's the word. Yeah. Okay. I'm not even sure if you want to be into this pot, to be honest. The guy from China could be trapping and limp raising, and your hand is sort of bad. He's not closing the action. I think if he would be closing the action, yeah, I mean, it's close. I think it's like a bummer. Whatever you do, you don't win or lose much. Let's see what the solver thinks of this hand. In this case, though, we are would be closing the action, which we are not. Although, I mean, I don't know the tendencies of the under the gun player yet, but yeah, he might be. I mean, if he's just like a passive fish who will limp call all the time, it's probably fine. If you expect some limp raises, I would. Yeah, as I said, it's like whatever you do, you don't lose much EV if you call or fold. Shouldn't matter too much. Let's see what the solver thinks. I think the solver probably wants to call, but let's see. Ace, 9, 5, 3. But we also don't have the risk of getting raised. Oh, yes, yeah. If the solver has the nut flush draw, he wants to call, but yeah, without the nut flush draw, it's definitely a fold. And yeah, as you see, you are not losing much EV. Although, look at this. Even with the nut flush draw, it seems like he prefers to fold, although he has a better EV, so this does not make too much sense. I guess this sim has not been run long enough, and it's also hard to get very good results because the game tree is so big in this one, because yeah, I mean, so many people are in the pot, and yeah, the tree becomes so big because every player has to do an action and stuff, so you cannot trust this fully. I think, yeah, so it's whatever, personal preference what you do. Okay. Oh, but he's not getting limp raised. Nope, he's just getting called. So what is he thinking? Tell us your thoughts. Not telling us his thoughts yet. Definitely checking. I mean, for a no-limit Holdem guy, this might look like a good hand. 2 pair, but it's bottom 2 on a board with a straight possible, and you have 5 opponents. So 20 cards out there that might have you beat. So yeah, definitely checking to check fold. Let's see what happens. Yeah, still checking to check fold. Bluff, flop, and river versus 2 people. Who? Seems like this node is a bit off, or the timestamp is set at the wrong spot. That's actually kind of a tough one. I mean, nobody was betting so far, but I don't see many worse things calling. So this is definitely a tough one. I think it should be fine to bet like 1/3 pot and hope to get called from ace-3 or something. Or what else could you get called from that you beat? Yeah, I mean trips basically. Can someone check 4-6 and then check turn again? Yeah, I mean it's very tough. I mean, although you got a full house, I don't see much value. I mean, a small bet maybe. I mean, it's a low limit tournament and people might be able to call with worse. 100%. I mean, this seems a bit big of a bet. I would bet way smaller. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to get called by worse. And if that's the case, you probably should bet small to give them a better price. By the way, if you get raised here, I would definitely throw away. I wouldn't expect anyone to bluff. I mean, there are some hands that people might bluff, like having 7-8 or something, but not sure if on this limit people are that advanced. And also, if you pot the river against so many people, people sort of expect you to have a full house. And it's hard to bluff people off full houses. So yeah, definitely I would have folded to raise. And yeah, as said, bet size I think is not well chosen. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. And that's a hand after the break. Okay, another bad one.
Okay, we're back.
I wonder how he got into the pot.
Ace-9, Jack-5, single suit.
Maybe against small blind or something.
Do we defend that? I assume we do defend that.
I think it probably,
Defend
although
that against a big stack?
against the small blind, I think we want to defend. Yeah, seems fine so far.
Can we get any value here? Or do we just pick?
Question is, should he call flop? Let's find out if he should call flop. So it is blind versus blind. I think you, by the way, I think you probably don't defend unless it's against a small blind. Call. Board is 9 deuce, which we don't have. Let's just go with paired boards. See what comes closest to this. Is it rainbow? No. Let's take this one instead. And we face a bet. So what should we do on the flop? I think his bet was also a bit bigger, but yeah, our hand is probably too high up in the range to consider folding. Ace, Jack, 5. So what is the solver suggesting? Solver says that we should call most. Okay, let's make our hand what it actually is, nothing. So we give us clubs and heart. Yeah, okay, seems like... Okay. Ah! What? Did I mess up? Yeah, I messed up. So it's basically never folding, but it's using a lot of these hands to bluff. But yeah, so this, I guess this is because, yeah, I think this is actually great bluff. I was also only thinking about calling, but raising must be the way better play. I mean, you get out flush draws. You even get over pairs to fold quite a lot. You don't expect your opponent to have many deuces. Yeah, this is, and you are the big blind. You have way more deuces in your range. This would be such a good play, and I didn't saw it, and yeah, he also didn't saw it. Yeah, definitely raise. I mean, we block the 9, so 9-9 is also less likely. Yeah, it would, raise is clearly the best play. Okay, moving on.
Pick up his bluffs. I mean, if he's got the flush already, he's already got the flush, but he probably doesn't.
After we got called, I mean, we didn't got called. He made the continuation bet, and now he's checking turn. This could be some sort of pot control line with deuce or a mediocre flush or a flush in general. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Unfortunately, we ran out of sims. We cannot call and see the turn. So we have to... Can we see his continuation bet stats? I would love to have this statistic here in order to find out if he's betting relentlessly with a lot of junk, because then it might make sense to try to take him off his hand. And if he's not continuation betting relentlessly, I would probably check. Because yeah, this looks a lot like a pot control line to me.
Got a full house he's probably betting, so I would just pick off his bluffs.
I think as he's quickly going to the 66% thing, I think there's no reason to bluff here. I mean, you are beat and probably don't get him to fold if he's using pot control, bluff induce line with like a flush or a deuce. And you can be ahead if he was just relentlessly betting flop to get you to fold, and you got a hand that might win at showdown if you just gave up with some random shit. So I think the bet is only getting stuff to fold like aces or kings, queens, stuff like that has you beat, and otherwise it just makes no sense to bet. if he
Yeah,
folds,
we'll get the value.
you
Thanks.
probably at the best hand anyways. He calls. Wow. He calls with kings. So I thought this is like the part of his range he's folding on the river, because he should also expect you to have like a thin value bet. For example, like a weak flush or a deuce. Well, although a deuce is probably not betting. Yeah, I thought that this part of his range would fold here, but I was wrong. So this seems to be a calling station type guy. And yeah, as I said, no reason to bet. You are good, or he's calling anyways.
Nice. Okay,
let's see the next one. Bet beat.
with the paired board. Oh yeah, that's true. The paired board obviously doesn't make our Like if Steven calls, do we now have to call?
I think that's
crap hand.
100% not a call.
I guess so.
Especially multi-way. What are you expecting? I mean, you at least want an ace high flush, right? I mean, even if the king of diamond would be an ace of diamond, this is not a call. This, yeah, you should stay out of the pot with this junky hand. This is to lose.
Time to go broke.
And now you could be in a very tough spot. If this shorty goes all in, you have the Greek geek still behind you. Yeah, but checking makes a lot of sense against so many opponents.
He's all in. So he
honestly, I think it's a fold. Yeah, with mid pair. And this is also the guy who is expected to have the tightest range. The Omaha Pro, I mean, he has 1, 2, 3 more guys left to act, and he's showing a lot of strength. So I would fold. I mean, sometimes he's pushing you out with a worse hand, but yeah, whatever. I mean, not worth it. You should not have invested any money pre-flop, as already said. And yeah, no, still fold. Good fold if you
think it's a fold. But
yep.
I think I got second nut flush draw, a pair.
Yeah, good fold. I mean, you could be crushed if he has like ace jack with the ace high diamonds. And against other stuff like sets and stuff, you also don't do well.
He limped everyone, so yeah, he just opened.
This guy also was tight so far. He has no 0 VPIP, so yeah, I would expect him that he knows what he's doing. By the way, your VPIP is a bit high. 37. It's too much. Get it down by 10 points or something. Wow. Okay. Let's see what these guys have. Jack deuce. That's a bad play. Jack 8-7 is a bad play also, but at least he blocks the ace high diamonds and can be sure that nobody has the nut flush draw. Yeah, I think you mark this hand because these dudes got it in with very crazy hands. I think Greek should also fold, by the way. Yeah, anyways, you made a good fold. We had no reads at that point, but the opponents are bad, and even then, it's a tough call to make. So well played. King is next hand, right? Yep.
One thing about so now we're a 55 big blind stack. If it's a 100 big blind cash game and someone re-raised me, if I was going to be out of position, I'd be pretty tempted to fold this, but
yeah, if someone re-raises, you have to fold, I think. Not a great flop. I would check back.
For this many big blinds, do you still fold? I don't know.
now you can't continue. I mean, against one, it's already tough. You probably should not continue. And against two guys, you have to expect one of them to have a flush. Unless they are completely reckless, which could be the case looking at their VPIP numbers of 67 and 83. But yeah, still, I think you should fold and wait for a better one.
Cool. It's a bet call.
I mean, even bet people sometimes make hands.
We still have an overpair. Straight draw. But how strong is?
I mean, also, how do you plan to continue in the hand? Even if you make your hand straight, you still don't feel great if anyone continues betting.
His range. Queen Jack, Queen Jack plus better.
For me, that's a no-brainer. I wouldn't even waste any thoughts about this calling.
Let's see what happens with this one then.
Yeah, I'm also. It's really interesting if you see the showdown what these guys have. He would have rivered a straight. He probably also was time stepping this one because something unexpected happens. But yeah, you sometimes fold the best hand. That's how it goes. Oh no! Wow! Royal flush this time. Okay. What? This? Okay, he called the flop with like the idiot end of the straight draw and like outs the full house. Yeah, and Greek was playing a tricky trappy, hoping to get some action. I think he probably is better off by betting and continue to betting. Because, yeah, I mean, what is he expecting his opponent to bet with? He has the ace high flush and on the turn, and he's also having the king. So the next biggest flush his opponent can have is a 9 high flush. And yeah, this can very easily check down. So yeah, I think he should bet turn and bet river.
Dude.
Okay, aces again. Value bet turn is the question.
Oh, here we go. See if anybody wants my bounty. That's what we're hoping for. Steven, want my bounty? Come on.
Standard so far?
Okay.
If that's a tough one.
Potential. 7 potential.
I mean, step heartless. I mean, normally against normal ranges, you should expect to have the best hand most of the time, as not many 7s are out there from a UTG race and a small blind that's supposed to be really tight in this spot. But this guy has 84 VPIP, so this guy can definitely have a 7. And yeah, Tamara, he's also too loose, but should not have that many 7s. I think betting this one is okay-ish, but again, you should use a smaller size. Three-way spots, by the way, Solver has mostly heads-up spots, so yeah, we probably cannot use Solver to help us here. It's getting called. I think it's a bit thin to bet the turn. I mean, this guy has to have a little something. I would, at this point, try to show it down and win against whatever stupid hand he's calling with, like jacks or something.
Do we keep going now? Let's get value from a flush draw. What are we going to get called by that isn't a 7?
Yeah, I would check too. Also becomes very awkward when you bet and get raised. I mean, there's almost nothing left and you're getting a good price.
Oh, yeah, the same seems to call us on the flop, I guess. Puts it too loose.
Yeah, I think it's too loose.
I really don't know.
Yeah, definitely taking the free showdown. I also would expect to lose most of the time, but yeah, this is the guy that also called with kings on the board that was very, very dangerous. So you might be ahead, but not that often. Maybe he has like 5, 6, 8 or something, 3, 5, 3, 5, 6 or something like a rep. She wasn't able to let go, but yeah, that's also a bad card if you expect him to have a rep. So yeah, I don't see many things that you beat. Maybe some overpairs that he is playing way too loose, but you even have the jack and the king blocking 2 of the potential overpairs. And kings he would also probably raise pre, so yeah, I think you are losing this hand. What the fuck? He calls flop with 8-8-9 when he turns an open-ender. And yeah, okay. This guy is crazy. Yeah, I mean, you extracted more value than I would have. I would have checked and checked again, and you would have won anyways. But yeah, you extracted another 20 BBs or something from it. But yeah, I think this guy can also have a 7. This guy, yeah, as I said, I think it's to lose to bet this one. I mean, you need a very special kind of opponent in order to be able to bet the turn again.
Nice.
Defense, small blind versus 82 VPIP button. Let's see.
King, queen. Against Steven, he's playing 84% of hands. I think we can call this.
I mean, I think I would. It's also that cheap. I mean, against this very crazy dude, and Andy's also involved, I think it's okay calling, as you're also getting a good discount. But I would only do that if the big blind is not very active, meaning that he's not often 3-betting. Because yeah, if he 3-bets, you would be in a lot of pain. So if he's actively 3-betting, I would fold. Otherwise, I think it's okay to call and try to see a flop against this completely crazy dude. But I would like it a lot more if you at least would have one suit and not be rainbow. But yeah, I think it's fine to call.
This is not great. Then again, it's good enough, I think, versus this guy. Okay.
2 pair.
2 pair.
And blocking the flush. Ooh. Oh. I think I would do nothing, but this actually might be a good bluffing spot to bet turn and river, try to get people off flushes. You are blocking full houses heavily. But yeah, I mean, it's okay to bluff, but against step heartless, I would not try. I would just hope to check down and win. I mean, you could have the best hand.
And now remember, our 2 pairs being counterfeited. Aces, kings, jacks, everything beats us.
I wouldn't hate a bluff now. I mean, it looks incredible strong. But the thing is, if people bet the pot, they usually got something, right? I mean, I also don't know how he played before. I wouldn't hate a bluff, let's say it this way. But yeah, I also think it's okay to fold. Especially given that it's a tournament and that you have a good healthy stack and position on a very bad player, and you probably find better spots later. So I think, yeah, I would prefer a fold, but I wouldn't hate a bluff here against a good. I mean, your opponent has to be reasonable and be able to lay down flushes. Otherwise, this would make no sense.
We can just get rid of it.
Yeah, I think fold is the best play. Played it well. Okay. Okay. That's not a great hand.
Ace, king, 10, 7. All on the button, I think. I don't think
we could also consider to re-raise and blow the pot a bit to isolate step port less. But I think in this case, calling is a bit better because of stack sizes. And if you re-raise and rack job after you goes all in, you really would hate live. So yeah, I think it's fine how you play it. I mean, this hand sucks, but against this guy, I would try to play as many pots as possible.
So it's a question of 3-bet or call. It's not the best hand ever, is it really?
Top pair.
I don't know how much 3-bet bluffing, because obviously in Holdem, so you might have ace 7, it'd be a good one.
I'm not sure if 3-bet bluffing is a thing in PLO. Not really, I think. I think betting flop is okay. It's unlikely that somebody has you beat, and even if someone has 2 pair yet, they might not re-raise, and you have 3 overcards to improve. So yeah, seems fine to bet. Even against 2.
Check back on 7, I think. We might be good some of the time. We might have better pairs. I don't think we can value better.
I personally would prefer bet, but yeah, checking is also fine.
Easily, so I'll just go for a check.
Not betting now anymore.
Straight on board, yeah, but lots of draws.
Yeah, folding. Snap.
Snap call from Steven. I'll just give this one up.
But let's see what these guys show down. That's the river, which probably put you ahead. Nope. Yeah, okay, if you choose my line, you would have probably won the hand. Because then Tamara folds flop. Then you check back turn. And yeah, on the river you can again value bet. Find a very nice value bet against this guy. But this is a bit results oriented. Your line definitely is also fine. Okay. Full turn is good. Good, the next one.
No one wanted to play on that turn. Not very interesting, I suppose. No, this one's a bit interesting. What did he prove for? Did we get it in? If everyone calls, I'd be tempted to get it in, honestly. Jack, suit ace king.
This is not a great hand, to be honest. I have no clue what this is supposed to do. This guy also seems to play reasonable. I mean, he's 25 VPIP is probably a good VPIP. So how well are you doing against someone with tight range from effectively middle position? I think not that great. Let's go to... I think... What? No. Fuck. If this is not what I was searching for. This is what I was searching for. But it's not working. Am I... Man, there's like this Pro Poker Tools Odds Oracle site. Let's just try Odds Oracle. Hmm. Oh, this is so annoying. Pro poker tool. Why is it so hard to find this? It's this? Ah, okay. Can't use it. Down for repair. Shit. And I bought the license actually, but I don't have it installed on this computer, so we cannot use it. That's unfortunate. That's bad. So we cannot check our equity. We can... I mean, I don't expect this guy to be too strong, so I'm worried about this guy only, basically. But yeah, your hand isn't too great. Let's see what the solver thinks. You do MTT, 30 BBs. Open raise is this. And I think effectively is here. Call. Then now it's on you. Ace, king, jack, jack. Still loading. Okay. Ace, king, jack, jack. Okay, you are right. This is supposed to be a re-raise. Yeah, I guess it's probably good enough because you block the aces and the kings as well. Yeah, okay.
Is it good enough to get it in?
It is good enough according to the solver. But it's close. You'd only make less than one big blind with this hand.
I don't know.
I think like calling feels like the worst options to me. I mean, I think folding is almost better than just calling because this hand doesn't do that well, especially multi-way. So yeah, I would 3-bet if I choose to play the hand. But you saw that I was also unsure. Yeah, I would need to experiment more with like 30 BB stakes and shit before I jump into a tourney to know what to do in spots like this. Yeah, now fold. Oh, it hurts a bit. The thing about calling is that there's essentially almost not a single good card for you in the deck other than another jack. So this actually is a card that's not too bad. But what do you do if he goes all in? Do you fold? Do you call? I will full flop, and he's also betting against 3 people, not just 1. That's also something you have to consider. And your hand just plays so terribly.
Loving it. Happy to fold now if he goes all in.
I think you should have folded flop already. The question now is if you should bluff. But what better hands are folding? Yeah, I think you should check and probably lose against whatever. I mean, there's a chance that he has like the nut flush draw and does not beat jack jack and gives up. So yeah, I would check and yeah, give up.
Now, do we call now?
Good question.
Do we call now?
Bad thing also is that you don't have any spades, so he could. I mean, it's a story I could believe that he is checking back with turned spade draw and now shoving it in. I mean, I would. That's a tough spot for sure. But I would not call, and I would also not have called the flop.
So what does he check the... Oh, I think we're going to fold. What does he check the turn with?
But yeah, on the other hand, makes sense to think about it at least. As he's not wrapping that much. Basically spades only. But yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hate if you made the hero call. But I think, yeah, I prefer how you prefer the fold still. Let's go to the next one.
I like doing the emotes and I see you're on ace. And, oh, yeah, mediocre. Mediocre.
Yeah, I think that's probably a standard raise.
Okay, top pair.
Checking back.
Top pair. Very wet. If he's got a straight, he's already got there, so I'm not getting any value from that.
I think that's a great hand to check back to. Well, actually, let's see what the solver thinks about this. MTT, 50 BBs. I mean, it's about 50 BBs. Raise. Fold, call. I mean, fuck. No. Okay, we do cash game sim instead. Ace, king, jack, rainbow. I mean, bet is also not too bad. Ace, king, 10. Okay, let's choose this one instead. And check. So what we are supposed to do with ace, queen, 6-5, double suited. Let's check. Okay, solver says check. How much worse is it to bet? But yeah, you see the difference is very small. But yeah, you also have to think about overall range construction, and yeah, checking back some of these mediocre hands makes a lot of sense. And it's also, another argument for checking back is, what do you do if you get raised? I mean, you would hate life. I mean, you have two backdoor flush draws, you have the gut shot, you have top pair. So yeah, good candidate to check back.
I mean, block the straight draws.
Yeah, looks.
So go for a check.
You
Yeah,
did the right thing. Turner would check again if he allows us to do that. That's tricky. Let's see if we know. Fold, raise, fold. Try to come up with a sim for this spot, but I think it's probably not working out. Yeah, we have no turn sims for this board, unfortunately. It sucks that we did not pick up a flush draw. I mean, with a flush draw, we would definitely continue. We could be drawing that. He has queen 10. I mean, not drawing that, but drawing to a split pot. And if he has something like ace king, we are also drawing very thin. And we don't do well against anything, basically. I think folding is actually the play.
Okay, I've got no time out, so I've got to be a bit...
Okay,
I'll be AFK
you
doing
take your
this.
chances for once.
I mean, if he doesn't have a straight, then we got to think our hand is good.
I think he the way he played, he does not have a straight. But I also think that he's probably not folding. This line can very well be something like ace king, ace jack that's now bluff inducing and trying to show it down but not folding too bad. I would definitely not try to win. And there's also a small chance that you could be ahead somehow. I mean, if he has like 9, 10 queen, then you would be ahead. Or if he has like, what other ways could you be ahead? Ace 10 with not 2 pair, which he for some reason bet the turn with. Yeah, I would show it down. I mean, I don't think that you are good that often, and you don't represent anything that makes sense. I mean, what are you checking back, calling small turn bet, and now betting full pot? I think your bluff does not make any sense, and that's why I wouldn't make it. And yeah, I also think you're probably not playing Queen 10 ever this way.
Could definitely call us for the worst.
Yeah, if he folds that quick, you probably just had the best hand. He was betting like King 9-10, Jack 9-10, or some other bullshit like that. Queen 9-10 like this, and giving up on the river.
Yeah, you could call us with King Jack.
I mean, when once you bluff, you should try to tell a story that makes sense, and this doesn't make too much sense to me. Okay, next one. Ace 993. I think that's an open.
I feel like
I think now you probably should fold. Not sure though. Let's first check for the cash game. Sub raise. Yeah, I'm like 80% certain that you should fold. Ace 993. Yep. Even the double suited version of your hand is supposed to fold. Oh yeah, you did the good laydown. What was your question? Fold pre. Yes, fold pre. I mean, we did it for 50 BB, the sim, but for 30 BB, you have to be even tighter. So yeah, good fold. Well done. Defend big blind versus button. Let's see. Yeah, with the ace high flush drive, it's probably fine. Can prepare this on the side. Fold. This again is not for SNGs or MTTs, whatever this was. Yeah, I think it's... Is it a defend or not? I think that's a very close one, and whatever you do, you don't make a huge mistake. Ace 9, 4-3. Okay, that was... Yeah, you see, actually you are supposed to fold, at least in a cash game, and I think in the tourney you probably are even closer to a fold. Although, you have antes in there, so that's making a call. Make me call a bit more, or wanting to call a bit more. Yeah, you see, minus 1.1. Okay, you also have antes in. yeah, I think it's not a big deal, but yeah, actually probably a fold and not a call.
Defend that, I think.
Yeah, that's terrible flop.
Fold now.
Yep, good plan. Okay. I think we are almost through the whole content. This looks like a laydown. Let's see. Now we do MTT, 40 big blinds. So this is the situation. I say this is a fold. Has to be a fold. Ace 4 3 deuce. Ace 4. The shorter you get, the more valuable high cards are. Yep, it's a fold. And how big is the mistake? Yeah, quite a big one. It even sucks a bit more because, yeah, there are also people that are even shorter than you behind you, yeah. So that's an easy fold. It's also a hand that you don't want to get free bet with. Ooh, that is something. Let's see if we have got sim matching this. Now, although you cannot simulate this unless, I mean, it's most likely that we got sims if you are on the button, and it's like more of a button race than everything else. So let's make this a button race. Big blind call, and let's see if we got sims. We got sims, so that's actually close to what we are in. So paired board. Check 9-9. We got Jack 8-8. I guess that's the best we get. Yeah, let's take this. Let's check to us. I mean, I can see a bet and a check. I mean, that's very tough one again. We got the hearts, but not the diamonds. Okay, apparently the nut flush draw wants to bet. A different flush draw would be checking. Also very interesting. Well, the bet size, by the way, is again very small, 1/3 pot. So I wonder what happens if we would get raised. In case we bet our flush draw. Ace, 4, 3 deuce, spades and hearts. Okay, we fold. So we would bet fold even with a nut flush draw, which makes sense. Yeah, my tendency was to check back, but yeah, whatever. I mean, probably also not a huge EV difference. But yeah, you have to bet some things that are not a 9, and ace high flush draw can't be too bad to do it with. And you also give yourself always a good price on your bet if you only bet 1/3. Okay, seems like we are on this same opinion here. How big was this turn bet? Which you called Okay. Okay. Potentially a deuce is also good. You did not invested too much thought in that. Just snap called without thinking about it. Yeah, I think your hand is probably too good to consider folding. He checks. So what do you write here? Check flop, check back river with little chance of winning. I think actually betting, I mean, this seems to be a good candidate to bet with. I mean, it's sort of, I mean, it makes sense that you could play like Jack-9 this way, or Jack-Jack. Slow playing flop, continue to slow play turn. And also the spade, you can also represent spades quite well. I mean, snap calling turn with a spade draw makes sense. So I think betting here makes sense, especially because you also block full houses quite well, having a deuce and a 4. So I would have bluffed here. Let's see if this would have worked out. Yeah, it's close. Not sure if this would have worked out. It might not. It's hard to say. I mean, if he's thinking, he has to assume that you call the turn with something. And he's also blocking hearts, so it's less likely that you got hearts from his perspective. And what do you call turn with that now has to bluff river? So I think from his perspective, he could find a fold if he's a thinking player. And yeah, I would have bluffed, but yeah, I would have bluffed, as your hand is a good candidate for it. Last hand. Yeah, then a raise. Ugh, not a good flop. Yeah, I wouldn't hate betting the flop against the ultra wide range of the big blind, who defends probably quite wide, and you can also continue to bluff on like a queen or 10, and you can also hit one of your 4 outs. Be fine. I mean, the 5 definitely is a good one. Oh, that's interesting. Do we want to slow play, or do we want to fast play? That's... check. Oof. I wonder if I want to raise here. I mean, you can get almost all the money in. I think shove here. Protect from all the draws. So many, I mean, basically every card is bad for you, and you will probably not be able to get away from draws. And even with like 2 pairs, he might assume that you are on a draw, and you might be able to get it in very good. I like raising. Don't hate calling though. Ugh. Oh, this is actually... it seems like it's a no-limit tournament. Yeah, I would have shoved turn to avoid these very iffy spots. He's all in quite fast. There's a lot of stuff that didn't got there, but unfortunately Queen 10 came in. could also have something like jacks just be value shoving. Although he also did it quite quickly. Do we want to read anything in his timing? And he's overbetting. Not sure how often people does this. I mean, but you have like a very good hand. This is tough. It feels very close. Very hard to make a decision without reads. Ah. Me, that's a tough one. Queen 10. Could also be just utilizing Queen or 10-10 blocker. Or maybe he missed his hard draw, although you also block King of Hearts. I think it's very, very close. You could be making the hero fold. Like the small bet on the turn, does it tell us that he's on a drawing hand? Wants to put in a small bet to get you to fold, but don't invest too much. And on the river, he gets excited and shoves it in instantly. I think it's actually very, very, very close. Throw a coin and decide. I mean, if you want to be balanced, and the GTO plays probably to not fold. But I mean, I'm not sure if I would be able to do it in game, but thinking about all this and the snap raise and the overbet, all the little things, I think. Wow. This is very sick. Can he be shoving worse? Can he shove ace king? Can he shove ace jack that fast for an overbet? I think it's. I would be convinced after thinking so long and do the hero fold.
I think we're calling.
But yeah, I don't blame you for calling.
Queen 10. There we go. We're dead.
The hero fold was correct. Yeah, but yeah, he's
900 and we're dead. Oh, late register. I feel like I've played that for ages. Let's just have a quick look at this. I'll put it on the ABS.
This was fun reviewing.
This call.
Although I would have preferred cash game content. Yeah, let me know what you think. Did my commentary help you out?
Cool.
Yeah, like, subscribe, share all the good things that you do on social media and YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, this was fun. I hope there's something more coming in.
Okay, get rid of that. Stretch this out. Okay, I raise he flatted, so he doesn't have aces.
Oh no! You did this. I mean, it was also not disguising and blurring your username wasn't that helpful if you show it. And it was also not that hard to find it out, as it's also your YouTube name. I mean, yeah, I think it's not too bad that everyone now knows who you are. Yeah, I think not that much reason to blame yourself. It is hard to lay this hand down. Yeah, overall, I think some room for improvement is there, but you already play quite well for the limits you are playing. I think you probably will have an edge over most of the guys. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, do all the good like, subscribe and stuff, like I already said. Yeah, thanks for sending this video in. And yeah, I am up for more videos. Keep them coming. Now, finally signing off. Bye.